I hope that you are well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 8 English lesson on analogies. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca, with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts. We're doing grade 8. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to analogies. All right, so our chapter is analogies. Our subject is English language arts. All right. And we said our lesson, grade 8, and then our lessons for today is analogies. And it is analogies challenge. All right. So analogies, right? Analogies, it shows the relationship between two pairs of words. All right. So we said analogies, it shows basically the relationship between two pairs of words. And when we look at the analogies, right, we're not going to look at how these two pairs of words basically, or how the relationship between these two words are actually being shown. And one of it being, for example, finger, right? Finger is to hand. It basically shows how two things goes together. So finger is to hand as petals is to flowers. Remember, we have our flower and then our petals. That is to flower. So you'll find the petals basically on the flower. And of course, fingers we'll find on the hand. And the finger, right, it's part of the hand. That is why we're saying finger is to hand. And petals you find on a flower, roses, right? And that is why we're saying petals is to flower, finger is to hand. So it can either be something like that, or we'll be able to identify synonyms and antonyms and degrees and cause and effects and so on that will show still the relationship between words. So if we look at a few more analogies or common analogy and relationships between them, let's say here we have a synonym, right? For example, say nice is a synonym of kind. So another word of being nice is like saying, oh, this person is so kind. That too goes together because the synonym of nice is kind, or the synonym of kind is nice, and that too goes together. All right, and now we have our antonyms. Firstly, synonyms, right, are words with the same meaning or almost the same meaning. And now we have antonyms, which is words with opposite meaning. And if we look at an antonym, right, relationship between words with opposite in meaning. It says an antonym, right, words with opposite in meaning. It says awake is an antonym of asleep. So awake is the antonym of sleep. So if you're not sleeping, you awake. If you're not awake, you asleep. So awake is the opposite of asleep, but it goes hand in hand. That's the relationship between one another. Then we have degrees, right? It says degree as in, temperature. Cool is like cold, but it's like less extreme. So cool, right? It's like if you say something is cool, right? And then we can say it's cold, but it's not as extreme as being ice cold. Then we have cause and effect. So the cause and effect of something, we can say a joke tends to cause laughter, which is correct. If somebody makes a joke, right, the intention of that is for you, the intent of that is for you to laugh. All right. That is cause and effect. It is what something causes and the effects thereof. Then we have part of a whole or part and whole. And when we look at part and whole, then we can say that a finger is part of a hand. It's the same, like, for example, fingers are part of a hand, right? We said finger is to hand, and we specifically said finger is to hand because fingers are part of a hand. And now, when we talk about things that are part and whole, then once again we can say finger is to hand, just like toe is to foot, for example. Then we have categories and item and categories. It says a cat is a kind of animal, just like a dog is a kind of animal. And then we have an item and a purpose. Item and purpose. So item and purpose. And the purpose of a pen is to write. So it's almost like you have your items, right? And then we need to say what the purpose of these items are. For example, you have a chair. What is the purpose of a chair? It's to sit. What is it the purpose of a pen? It's to write. What is the purpose of a pot? It's to cook. Or the stove, it's to cook. So the items and the purpose goes hand in hand. And then we have worker and tool. And an artist uses a paintbrush as a tool. And then lastly, we have worker and product. And work and product, it says a writer is a person who creates a book. So somebody who creates a book is who? It's a writer, it's an author. All right. So these are but a few examples of analogies, right? And analogies, we said it shows the relationship between two pairs of words. All right. So once again, we said analogies shows the relationship between two pairs of words. All right. So now we're going to aplusstudents.ca and we are going to do analogies. we're going to look at these two pairs of words and see how we'll see the test. But for now, we're going to just look at analogies. And we can even identify the two pairs of words that matches the one that goes with the other. All right, so now we're going to our test where we are going to look at, we're going to complete the analogy. It says, quiet is to silent as mean is to, is it option one, cruel, or being mean is nice? Which one is correct? Quiet is to silent. All right, and if we were to choose the correct option, we would say quiet is to silent as mean is to cruel. Because if you're a mean person, you're a cruel person. All right, the next one says we need to complete the analogy. If little is too small, all right, so little is too small, just as smart is to, is it intelligent, or smart is to wisdom? All right, so we can either say little is too small. Smart can either be intelligent or it can be wisdom and knowledge. For now, let's say smart and intelligent. Yes. Oh gosh, it went out now. All right, so we basically went over a few words. Sorry, let me just quickly go back to that. I'm just quickly going to go back to where I stopped. So we said wisdom, we said smart is to intelligent. Then germs, right? If germs is to disease, meaning it causes disease, as bomb, the bomb is to what? Is it loud or explosion? So bomb is to explosion. Yes, it is loud, but it is explosion. Well done. All right, we don't need to say a baker, right, is to cakes, meaning that the baker bakes cakes. As a carpenter is to what? Is it woods or cabinets? Something that they make. Something that they make. A carpenter. All right. And we said baker is to cakes as carpenter is to cabinets. That is something that they make. All right, so now we're going on to the next one. So we're going to do the analogies challenge. And once again, we say that analogies shows the relationship between two things, or two people, or two places, or two things, right? So we are going to basically, I don't know why they say it's a challenge, but we're just going to do the same. Go over what analogies is, go to the test. And if it shows the relationship between these words, All right. So we now need to look at the analogies challenge. All right. So now, when it comes to an artist, right, is to paintbrush. That's the relationship between them. Artists have paintbrushes. Now, chef is to what? Is it meal, restaurant, or whisk? All right. And we said artist is to paintbrush, meaning firstly, an artist needs paintbrushes. And a chef is to cook a meal. Oh, okay. Whisk, meaning it's an item that they're making mention of. So it's not the cooking that they're making mention of, they're making mention of the items that they require. All right, the next one. Aibo, where are we now? All right, so it was supposed to be a whisk. Sorry, that was my mistake. All right, so now we're saying we need to complete the analogy. Artificial is to genuine. All right, so we can say artificial is genuine. It's like the opposite. Whereas flavorful, we say flavorful is to savory, delicious, or bland. All right, and we once again said artificial is to genuine as flavorful is to what? So now with flavorful, right? They say genuine is to artificial, artificial is to genuine, which means that all right, and we can say that artificial is to genuine as flavorful is to. I don't know if we must say flavorful is delicious or the opposite, which is bland. Let's try bland quickly. If it's incorrect, then we will go to the next one. Ah, it is actually the opposite. So it's bland. It is the opposite that they showed. Ugly is to hideous. It don't look nice. It's ugly. It's hideous. As to humorous is to serious, strange, or hilarious. Humorous. So we said ugly is to hideous. It's like extremely ugly. Humorous is to hilarious. It's like funny. All right. And then we have freeze. Freeze is to thaw, as lose is to, do we say forfeit, win, participate? So freeze is to thaw. I'm not sure. Let's see if it's going to be forfeit. It's actually win, which means that they gave us the opposite of that word. They gave us the opposite of that word. So what you need to do is, when it comes to the relationships that the analogies show, they will either show the opposites in meaning, they will show the same in meaning, they will show cause and effect, right? Or they'll just put something that goes with each other. And that is that's the end of analogies. We said analogies is the relationship between two or more words, basically two words. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. Thank you, everybody, for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further. Goodbye. All right. Goodbye.